Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young, and there's been a lot of action this week, so I'll get right into it. Starting with the NBA, round 2 of the playoffs began on Sunday. The Indiana Pacers and Cleveland Cavaliers got the second round action underway, and the result was somewhat of a shock. The dynamic Indiana point guard Tyrese Halliburton scored 22 points, including a go-ahead three-pointer in the fourth quarter, had 13 assists, and made crucial defensive plays that propelled the Pacers to a 121-112 victory over the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. The Cavs were sitting with a 102-101 lead, but after Halliburton's three-point shot to take the lead, the Pacers went on a 15-4 run to seal the victory. In Game 2, Halliburton and the Pacers did it again. Halliburton made a three-pointer with just 1.1 seconds left in the game this time, as the Pacers scored the final 8 points in just 48 seconds to stun the top-seeded Cleveland Cavaliers 120-119 on Tuesday, taking a 2-0 series lead in the Eastern Conference semifinals. Halliburton scored 11 of his 19 points in the final 12 minutes. Game 3 is an absolutely must-win for Cleveland, and that game will tip off today at 4:30 p.m., and Game 4 will be Sunday at 5 p.m. The other half of the Eastern Conference semis between the Boston Celtics and New York Knicks got off to an electric start as well. Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby each scored 29 points before Mikal Bridges stole the ball from Jaylen Brown with just a second left in overtime, and the Knicks stunned Boston 108-105 in Game 1 of their series on Monday night. Karl Anthony Towns added 14 points and 13 rebounds for New York. The Knicks lost all 4 games against the Celtics during the regular season and trailed by as much as 20 points in the second half of this game. Derek White had 19 points and 11 rebounds, and Jason Tatum had 23 points for Boston, but Tatum could not get the potential game-winning shots to fall late in the game. Boston had an astounding NBA playoff record 45 missed three-point shots, which all but sealed their loss. With just over 14 minutes left to play in Game 2, the Celtics were up 73-53 over the Knicks. Then, history repeated itself. Mikal Bridges scored all of his 14 points in the fourth quarter before making his second straight game-clinching steal, and the Knicks overcame another 20-point deficit to beat Boston 91-90 and take an absolutely shocking 2-0 lead. The must-win Game 3 of this series will be tomorrow at 12:30, with Game 4 on Monday at 4:30. Over in the Western Conference, Nikola Jokic yet again proved why he is on track to be one of the greatest players in NBA history, as he finished Game 1 with 42 points and 22 rebounds for the Denver Nuggets. However, Aaron Gordon proved to be the hero in this game. Gordon hit a three-pointer with 2.8 seconds remaining, giving the Nuggets a stunning 121-119 comeback win over the top-seeded Oklahoma City Thunder on Monday night. Game 2 went a lot different for both teams, though. Just 2 nights after blowing a double-digit lead in the loss to the Nuggets, the Thunder cruised to a 149-106 rout in Wednesday's Game 2 to become the first home team to earn a win in this round of the playoffs. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander led the way for OKC, finishing with 34 points and 8 assists, shooting 11 of 13 from the floor and 11 of 11 from the free throw line. Game 3 will be tonight at 7, and Game 4 will be on Sunday at 12:30. Lastly, in the Western Conference, the Golden State Warriors and Minnesota Timberwolves began their series on Tuesday. For the Warriors, it looked like it might be a worst-case scenario. Steph Curry strained his hamstring early in the game, but his teammates backed him up. Jimmy Butler had 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 8 assists, and Draymond Green had 4 first-half threes on his way to 18 points as the Warriors cruised to a 99-88 win. Game 2 of that series was last night, and Game 3 will be tomorrow at 5:30, followed by Game 4 on Monday at 7. Over on the ice, things are equally as exciting as they are in the NBA, if not more so. And a lot of it has to do with one single player. Before Round 2 began, Round 1 ended with a bang. On Saturday, Mikko Rantanen had a hat trick and an assist, and the Dallas Stars rallied with 4 straight goals in the third period to eliminate the Colorado Avalanche with a 4-2 win in Game 7. Rantanen is the first player in NHL history to score a hat trick in the third period of a Game 7, and the first to record multiple 4-point periods in a single postseason, after also achieving this feat with a goal and 3 assists in the second period of Game 6. Not only that, but he did it all against his former team. Entering this season, Rantanen was in the final year of his contract with the Colorado Avalanche, where he won a Stanley Cup back in the 2021-2022 season. Then, in January of this year, a blockbuster trade occurred, and Mikko Rantanen was being shipped to the Carolina Hurricanes. This was a devastating blow to the Avalanche fans and organization, and the move sent waves throughout the sports world. After the trade, the Hurricanes attempted to extend Rantanen, reportedly offering a franchise record contract worth at least $100 million. He was non-committal though with Carolina, and with the trade deadline approaching, the Canes decided that it was either lose him in free agency or at least get something in return for a trade. So, on the afternoon of March 7th, the trade deadline, Rantanen was traded to the Dallas Stars after playing just 13 games for Carolina. Fast forward to this past weekend, and he set new NHL records against the team he spent 10 seasons with throughout his career. And the Stars have advanced to round 2, eliminating the Avs, and have a solid shot at winning their second ever Stanley Cup. In round 2, they're facing off with the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets got to this point with a nail-biter Game 7 win of their own over the St. Louis Blues, when Adam Lowry scored at 16:10 of the second overtime for the Winnipeg Jets, who rallied for a 4-3 win in Game 7 on Sunday. Lowry's overtime goal came after the Jets scored twice in the final 2 minutes of regulation to tie the game. Winnipeg and Dallas began their series with Game 1 on Wednesday. I can't believe I'm saying this again, but Mikko Rantanen scored a natural hat trick in the second period, helping the Dallas Stars to a 3-2 win against the Winnipeg Jets. Rantanen became the first player in Stanley Cup playoffs history with multiple 3-game periods in the same postseason. The forward has 14 points, consisting of 8 goals and 6 assists, in his past 4 games. He has contributed on 12 straight Dallas goals, which marks the longest streak by a player in Stanley Cup playoffs history. Game 2 of this series will be tonight at 6:30, so let's see if he can keep the streak rolling. The other Western Conference series between the Vegas Golden Knights and Edmonton Oilers began on Tuesday. Leon Draisaitl scored in the third period, Connor McDavid had 2 assists, and Calvin Pickard made 15 saves for the Oilers. Then, Zach Hyman scored the go-ahead goal late in the third period for Edmonton, who rallied for a 4-2 victory against the Knights in Game 1 on Tuesday. Game 2 was last night, and Game 3 will be tomorrow at 6 p.m. In the Eastern Conference, the Toronto Maple Leafs and reigning champion Florida Panthers got the action started on Monday night. William Nylander had 2 goals and an assist in the first period, and the Leafs very narrowly held off the Panthers for a 5-4 win in Game 1. Towards the end of the third period, the Panthers pulled their goalie and fired shots until the final horn, but Toronto's defense was able to hang on to secure the win. Game 2 was weirdly very similar, as Mitch Marner broke the tie at 5:50 of the third period, and the Maple Leafs held off the Florida Panthers 4-3 in Game 2, taking a 2-0 series lead. Game 3 of this series will be today at 4. Lastly, the Carolina Hurricanes and Washington Capitals began their series on Tuesday. And yet again, we got another overtime game. Jacob Slavin scored at 3:06 of overtime, giving the Hurricanes a 2-1 win against the Capitals in Game 1. Game 2 was last night, and Game 3 will be tomorrow at 3 p.m. I didn't think it would take me this long into the year to say this, but Scottie Scheffler has officially won his first PGA event of the year. Not only that, but he did it in absolutely dominant fashion. Scheffler matched the PGA Tour's 72-hole scoring record on Sunday, finishing at 253 and running away with an 8-shot victory at the CJ Cup Byron Nelson in his hometown. The top-ranked player, who finished with a 63 to finish at an absurd 31 under par, tied the mark set by Justin Thomas in 2017 and Ludwig Åberg at the RSM Classic in 2023. Like I said, it was the first victory this year for Scheffler after he won a total of 10 times before May in the previous 3 years combined, including 2 Masters victories. Scheffler will skip the tournament this weekend, but will return for the PGA Championship in just 2 weeks. Last week, I previewed the 151st running of the Kentucky Derby. A day full of rain caused the track at Churchill Downs to be full of thick mud, which made for a pretty exciting race. With the 4th best odds, Sovereignty crossed the finish line first with a time of 2:02.31. Journalism, the horse with the best odds, came in a close second place. As first overall winner, Sovereignty took home a whopping $3.1 million. As always, a major NFL story broke again this week to take over the headlines. The Cowboys and Pittsburgh Steelers agreed to a trade Wednesday that will send wide receiver George Pickens to Dallas for a 2026 third-round pick. The Cowboys will also send a 2027 fifth-round pick to the Steelers and get back a 2027 sixth-round pick. Pickens, who is just 24 and entering into the final year of his rookie contract, had 59 catches for 900 yards and 3 touchdowns last season. He posted at least 50 receptions, 800 yards, and 3 touchdowns in each of his first 3 seasons with the Steelers. With off-season workouts and mini camps on the horizon, I expect more NFL stories to start coming out in the coming months. We're getting our first taste of summer weather this weekend, so if you aren't spending time in the sun, be sure to enjoy all the basketball, hockey, baseball, golf, and more that this weekend has to offer. As always, thank you for joining me on this week's episode of Sports Corner. I'm Cole Young. Have a great weekend. I'll see you next time.